My first guest, who is the funniest ex-bacon boner, window cleaner and forklift truck driver that I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Davidson.
All right then?
Yes.
You got it as well?
The older...
Yeah, the old cold, it's terrible, isn't it?
Got a box of tissues especially for us.
I've got my own one here, mate. I'm economising. Well, it's only a few mile now, but... have you noticed whenever people blow their nose, they always keep it, don't they? Have you noticed? Sort of... Yes, it's a classy act.
Well, I'll share mine later on, don't worry. I was just talking about age and time passing by. You passed 30 a little while ago. Did you find that a depressing date?
Yeah. Well, really, because I think 29 was a real bad one. Luckily, in the newspapers, always say Jim Davidson, 29, and I've been that for about 4 years now. But I thought the next one, 30, that's bad, but 31's pretty rough, isn't it, really?
Yes, I seem to remember it was a bit, yeah. The thing is, Jim, you have this interesting, undernourished style, and I wonder if that works to your advantage. Do you find that women, in fact, try to mother you?
Smother me would be more like it.
Yeah.
No, it's all right being... I suppose they do. They look at you and say, oh, you're thin, you need something to eat, you know? Yeah, get something warm inside you. It's embarrassing when you go down on the seaside and that. I mean, them legs are not the best things in the world. Look a little bit like... Get all the seagulls throwing bread at you and things like that. In fact, I went to the doctor's. He's going to give me some tablets to make me big and strong, you know, and I couldn't get the lid off the bottle.
I remember, man, your legs are splendid compared with... When I was in the army, did PT, the instructor said, what are them two white pieces of string hanging from your shorts? So, you're doing well. Listen, I talked about the jobs that you had, and you've had lots of them. I mean, how many did you have before you found yourself?
I started work in the co-op, and then went big time. Then I went to the West End as a messenger boy. £8 a week, it was really good. And I had some terrible ones. I used to just write off and lie to people. I mean, that's how I got to be a comedian. I was window cleaning in a pub, and the bloke said, we're looking for a comedian. I said, I'm one, but I'm resting at the moment, doing your windows. And he said, what pubs have you played then? He was from up north somewhere, so I just made up a load of different pubs. I said, I've done this, the King's Arms, the Queen's Legs, done, you know. Literally, of course. And, I went for a job as a window cleaner once. They said £8 a day, which was like a fortune.
Yeah.
So I went and lied, and they say, all right then, so they give you your gear, and you go up this great big building. It's just round the corner from here, Cornwall House it was, I'll never forget, and I was hanging out like that. You know? Frightened. And the worst thing was they conned me, well, they caught me out, because you have to wash your leather out. Have you seen them window cleaners? They sort of, this is a clean one, isn't it? I won't sort of, they do all that, like, and it all whips and things, looks really professional. Well, I couldn't do that. It used to go around there. So I used to try and stamp my foot on the floor, like, when they weren't looking, and they caught me and got the set.
It's funny that it took you so long to well, it didn't actually take you that long to become a professional comic, because, a bit like Roy Hudd, you look a funny man. I mean, was it in your blood? The face is a comic's face, isn't it?
Yeah, I borrowed it off a friend, actually. I don't know what I would have been if I wasn't a comedian. I just used to show off and try and make people laugh, you know.
Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah. Now, I went to see your stage act a few weeks ago, and you did over 2 hours. That uses up a massive material. I mean, at least 4 of those gags you could have used on television.
What are you trying to say? There is one clean one. I've got a clean one, actually. It lasts about 4 hours, actually. So. It's a mate of mine down in Cornwall. Jeffro was telling me about a Cockney fella bought a farm down in Cornwall. And he was working away, so we phoned up the head fella in Cornwall and said, how's things? He said, well, we've got a bit of good news and a bit of bad news. He said, well, what's the bad news? He said, well, the dog's dead. He said, my dog's dead? He said, yeah. He said, well, how did he die? He said, we're not too sure. He said, well, we think the horse kicked him in the mouth. He said, the horse kicked him in the mouth? He said, what made the horse frightened? He's normally placid. He said, oh, we're not too sure. He said, well, we think the fire in the barn frightened the horse and he kicked the dog. He said, my barn's on fire. He said, oh, not anymore. Levelled, gone. He said, well, how did the barn catch fire? He said, we're not too sure. We think it was a spark from the house. He said, my house gone? Yeah. He said, well, how did that catch fire? Oh, we're not too sure. He said, well, we think one of the candles... He said, what candle? He said, what was on your wife's coffin? Oh. He said, my wife's gone. Oh, yeah, won't see her no more. He said, well, how did she die? He said, well, we think it was a heart attack brought on by the fact that your insurance company went bankrupt last week. He said, is there any good news? He said, yeah, all this heat has brought your tomato plants on a fortnight. cleanest.
Yeah, clean and funny.